All right, so the first sex in the beginning, we were all called female. All right, we are in the first chapter, women's early cultural beginnings. And we will start the second paragraph. Before more complex life forms could develop and move onto land, it was necessary to miniaturize the oceanic environment. To reproduce it on a small and mobile scale, soft, moist eggs deposited on a dry ground and exposed to air would die. Life could not move beyond the water-hugging ambient stage. In the course of evolution, the ocean, the protective and nourishing space, the amniotic fluids, even the lunar tidal rhythm was transferred into the individual female body, and the penis, a, 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 mechan- a mechanical device for land reproduction, evolved. The penis first appeared in the age of reptiles about 200 million years ago. Our archetypal association of the snake with the phallus contains no doubt this genetic memory. This is a fundamental and reoccurring pattern in nature. Life is a female environment in which the male appears often periodically and created by the female to perform highly specialized tasks related to the species, reproduction, and a more complex evolution. Daphnia, a freshwater crustacean, reproduces several generations of females by parthenogenesis. The egg and its own polar body mate to form a complete set of genes for a female offspring. Once annually at the end of the year cycle, a short-lived male group is produced. The males specialize in manufacturing leathery egg cases able to survive the winter. Among honeybees, the drone group is produced and regulated by the sterile daughter workers and the fertile queen. Drones exist to mate with the queen. An average of 7 drones per hive accomplish this act each season, and then the entire male group is destroyed by the workers. We can learn something from nature, huh? Maybe, maybe not. Among whiptail lizards in the American Southwest, 4 species are parthenogenetic. Males are unknown among the desert grassland plateau and Chahu, and forgive me for this, I'm messing this name up, Chahaha, whiptails and have been found only rarely among the checkered whiptails. Among mammals, even among humans, parthenogenesis is not technically impossible. Every female egg contains a polar body with a complete set of chromosomes. The polar body and the egg, if united, could form a daughter embryo. In fact, ovarian cysts are unfertilized eggs that have joined with their polar bodies, been implanted in the ovarian wall, and started to develop there. This is not to say that males are an unnecessary sex. Parthenogenesis is a cloning process. Sexual reproduction, which enhances the variety and health of the gene pool, is necessary for the kind of complex evolution that has produced the human species. The point being made here is simply that when it comes to the two sexes, one of us has been around a lot longer than the other. And just on that note, it's like this. What came first, the chicken or the egg? Well, according to the universe, or God, the creator. Chicken came first, right? How the baby gonna be here before the mother? Like how the father gonna be here before the mother when she gave birth to the father? Okay, how your father got here? How did the father period get here? Did he just get dropped off out of the sky? I don't think so. Nowhere is that even possible in this reality. Just as the story of Adam and Eve, and Adam being put to sleep while God created Eve from his rib, nowhere in this reality is that even possible. But then we have Christians and these religions, these people that sit in these churches and these mosques and these things for all their life, believe in something that is a full out lie. The only way it's not a lie if it's somewhere that we're not supposed to take it. In the Bible, it's not supposed to be taken literally. However, how can, and these are people, my people that was raised up like this. This is beliefs that was given to me, passed down to me. And this didn't make sense to me at my younger age, in my 20s. I had to figure this thing out. Now I had to walk away. You know? And it's just like how we sit in church for all our lives, half our lives, and believe this story. And it all becomes down to Genesis. The creation, which it was two creations. We got to break this Bible down. We got to break it down. It's like, how can we sit here and really go with this lie and be okay with it? Like, men really creating women out here. Our senses is just dried out. Our senses is just gone, diminished. Yeah, let's get back to this. And speaking of Adam and Eve, we need to read the lost books of the Bible so we can get the whole truth, the whole picture, because that something ain't right about that space. But we're going to read another paragraph and we're going to end right there. In the Nature and Evolution of Female Sexuality, Mary Jane Sherfy, MD, described her discovery in 1961 of something called the inductor theory. The inductor theory stated that all mammalian embryos, male and female, are anatomically female during the early stages of fetal life. Of course. Sherfy wondered why this theory had been buried in the medical literature since 1951, completely ignored by the profession. I wonder why. The men who made this her story-making discovery simply didn't want it to be true. Sherfy pioneered the discussion of the inductor theory, and now, with modifications based on further data, its findings are accepted as facts of mammalian, including human development. As Stephen Jay Gould describes it, the embryo in its first 8 weeks is an indifferent creature with bisexual potential. In the 8th week, if a Y chromosome bearing sperm fuses with the egg, the gonads will develop into testes, which secrete androgen, which in turn induces male genitalia to develop. Genitalia to develop. Sorry about that. In the absence of androgen, the embryo develops into a female. There is a difference in the development of the internal and external genitalia. However, for the internal genitalia, the fallopian tubes and ovaries, or the sperm-carrying ducts, the early embryos contains precursors of both sexes. In the presence or absence of androgen, androgen, in the presence of in the presence and absence of androgen, as one set develops, the other degenerates. With the external genitalia, the different organs of male and female develop along diverging lines from the same precursor. This means, in effect, that the clitoris and the penis are the same organ. The clitoris and the penis are the same organ, formed from the same tissue. The labia majora and the scrotum are one, indistinguishable in the early embryonic stages. In the presence of androgen, the two lips simply grow longer, fold over and fuse along the midline, forming the scrotal sac. God concludes the female course of development is, in a sense, biological, intrinsic to all mammals. It is the pattern that unfolds in the absence of any hormonal influence. The male route is a modification induced by secretion of androgens from the developing testes. So, all that to say, males, are an inside out version of females and women. We have the same thing. And if you go look up images of the reproduction system of a male and female, you can get to the image and you can start like really noticing and seeing that we have the same thing when it comes to our ovaries, our scrotum, when it comes to our what do you call the glands? When you look up these images, anyways, when you look up these images, you will see that our reproduction system is the same thing. The vagina is a womb. The penis is an inside-out version of vagina. The clitoris is the penis. The penis is the clitoris. Therefore, that's why in the ancient times the ankh was so sacred, so powerful, so precious, because it's basically the ankh is the womb, is the kingdom of the womb. For the womb is created to all this the spiritual realm, the spiritual portals where you literally anything can come through the womb, anything can be created. That's like a body, a being, a divine being coming from one world, the spiritual realm, to come down in here into physical form, to this 3D, 4D, 5D form, whatever you may have it. So, the ankh is the womb. The womb is the kingdom. That is the kingdom. But we're not taught that. That's the importance of the ankh. The power of the ankh is the womb being the kingdom of God. However, the penis going up, the shaft going up, that one going up into that hole, that O, the circle, the hole, is the consciousness. Well, I like to say Christ's consciousness. But when that 1 and 0, the mother and father come together as one. However, we're in the first chapter. This is the second episode. Get this book, grab this book and read it. Join us. So you can see the stuff for yourself. Research it. Find these images. Look up the images. Look up the stuff that we're talking about. Parthenogenesis, mitochondria, hormone, the reproduction of a woman and man. Like, this is stuff we haven't been really taught in school. If we was, it was just on the surface level, very surface. But now that we're grown and we're older, we're adults, so we have experienced some things. It's time to go back to see what we actually been missing out on. What we actually been missing out on. This is what we have been missing. This has been like a secret, like a very huge secret that was been buried or been kept away. You know, and when you become enlightened, you realize why. You realize why that is. And it's amazing. But we need to share this information. Go out and get the book. Read it. Or just, you got somebody else, which inspired me to read this book by the name of, I will do my best to put her channel in the description once I figure that out. But this lady, which was the first person I ever seen, even brought this to the attention of the web of YouTube. Faye, what is her name? Anywho, she brung this. She read this. Was the first woman that I've known to read this on YouTube. And if you just go to her page and just let it play while you wash your dishes or clean up, or while you stretching or working out, whatever it may be, driving, you hear some things that'll hit you. You hear some things that will unlock some things in you. You hear some things that make you question and challenge some things. You hear some things that'll shake your whole foundation, but that is good. That is what we need. That is what you need. Right? So, yeah, we'll finish there. Until next time, happy Sacred Sunday. Know that you are sacred. Take care of your wombs, ladies. Take care of your minds, ladies. And take care of your heart, ladies. Take care and awaken. Some of you are in a spell. Get out the spell. Get out of the spell of the patriarch. Get out of the spell of you being less than man. Get out of the spell that he, and only he, is the Father. Only he is God. Get out of that spell and awaken. And realize that you are not less. You are equal. And if anything, you are superior than he, because he came from you. And if it wasn't for you, none of us would be here. You get what I'm saying? That's not true. We're not less than man. And all of these leaders in our communities, all of these people that have all this power, all these people, all these men, it's like they know. It's like, come on, y'all. Y'all know what time it is. Can't no longer keep us from our own power. You know? And it's going to come a time where us women are going to be able to, we will be on top. It's actually happening now. And I don't say like we taking over. We are. We're taking over what's ours, because if you go back through history, this planet was feminine. Everything was feminine. And so that's why we got to get into these books. We got to get into knowledge of ourselves. We got to get into other things, not just the Bible, just bringing our peace to the table. So we can get all the pieces, collect all the information that we can to put this thing together. But it makes sense. It makes sense when you go into a man and a woman. It makes sense when you talk about the chromosomes, where it all begins. It makes sense when you look at the reproduction system and how babies are born and given birth. It makes sense that the earth is our mother and that she holds and contains all seeds. It makes sense that she is our provider and nurturer, and that she is God. When you think about everything we have comes from her. So where did this thing come from that is just only he, and that he is supreme, that he is only king, and that he is up here. He is mighty and powerful. While we women are looked at down here. Y'all looking at us, some of them looking at us like, no, nigga, we seeing eye to eye. We seeing right here. And you keep messing around, we is gonna take back. It is gonna be a takeover. Because like I said, this is our territory. Women, we must awaken and get out of the spell of this patriarch system, of these patriarch and Abraham religions. Okay? So there we have it. It's time to go because the baby's saying it's time to go. It's time to go. All right. Peace. Love till next time. Know that you are sacred. Join us for Sacred Sunday and grab you a book so we can read this thing, figure out this thing together. All right? Peace, and I love you.